everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And I'm really excited today because I recently passed 1,500 subscribers, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you that keep watching my little channel and helping it to grow. So I would like to do a subscriber giveaway. So I've got these two little mini journals that I made. This one is made from flashcards and images from an old 1950s Montgomery Ward's catalog. There's some slide decals on it and some vintage fabric. It has a little button closure like so, little buttonhole, and then inside you'll find more S&H green stamps and catalog images and pages, as well as some blank pages to write on, a little flip right there, some stamping and collaging, but I tried to keep it pretty simple because it is a small journal, but I just had so much fun making it and playing with all of these vintage fabrics and vintage images. And I have a little pocket here with some little bits of ephemera in here, just some paper to make some notes on, another little bits of ephemera. Has one signature, and just like I said, lots of little vintage scraps of fabric, and just a lot of fun making this little journal. So that's that one. And then this one is also a little mini journal. It has this little twine tie on it. It's made, the cover is made out of wallpaper. Has a little key charm, a little button, some more vintage fabrics and lace and doilies. It has wallpaper on the inside, and then just stamping and collaging, some vintage music paper, ledger paper, lots of blank areas to write in this little journal. Not as embellished as the other one, but just more of a naked journal, something just to use to write down your thoughts on. So what I would like to do is ask everybody a question. What would you like to see more of on my channel? Here's a little journal card that fits in here, made out of a collage masterboard. So what I would like to know, if you can help me out, is what would you like to see more of on my channel? Would you like to see more like craft with me sessions, or more tutorials, just kind of mask making type of stuff, or you know, what would you like to see? And I would love your suggestions. So what I'm going to do is have you all comment in the comment section, and then I will do a drawing based on that. And rather than do another video that shows who the winners are, what I'm going to do is reply to your comment that you have won the journal, and then you can reach out to me via my email address in the description, and then we can get that taken care of. Unfortunately, I can't really send anything or ship anything internationally, but if you're in the US, I would love to have you comment, and I would love to have you win one of these little journals. So there will be two winners, one for each journal, and I just can't wait to hear from you. And now for something a little bit different. I have had a lot of comments recently after, you know, from the people that watch some of my Let's Get Organized 2022 videos about my Star Wars costume. And so I thought it would be fun just to kind of give a little explanation on how I made some of the pieces. And I'm going to start with the helmet. So I'm going to try to get it under here, so I have to zoom way back down. Okay, I also need to stand up while I do this. So this is the helmet. Now the Bouche Bounty Hunter was, it is a disguise that Princess Leia wore in The Return of the Jedi to rescue Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. And unfortunately, of course, she was caught, and they were caught, and then he got dipped in the carbon freeze. But this helmet was quite difficult to make. It was something that, you know, of course there were no patterns for it. I could have bought a mock-up with, you know, a resin one, and then have to do all of the covering and painting and everything myself, but it would have cost me about $600. So after looking at tons and tons of photos and watching some tutorials, and a lot of trial and error, I finally ended up with this helmet. So this is all made out of foam and leather and something called Warbler. There are some other pieces in here, but my husband, for the brown painting on here on the top of the helmet, he did the base coat on it with spray paint, and then I did all of the distressing and coloring and stuff like that. So these are all pieces of foam on here, and it's just layers and layers and layers until I got it right. This piece right here that curves around and goes all the way onto the back to here and across the top right here, that's all one piece. So that was quite the challenge to figure out the dimensions and the angles and all of that other stuff that I needed to do. There was just a lot of measuring and mocking up with different pieces of like fun foam and things like that until I got it right and then put the final dimensions together. This part right here I made out of clay, just some, I think it's called Fimo clay, I think it's F-I-M-O, and then painted it and distressed it. And then this piece, and actually it was made like in three main pieces. This whole top piece, then this front piece with the visor, and then this bottom piece. And my husband put it all together, and it actually, it worked out pretty well, but it took, oh gosh, a long time to make, maybe a couple of months to make it, to get it all together. And then like filling in this part, that was kind of difficult, but it's, you know, we ended up doing it. But I'll tell you what some of these pieces are. Like this piece right here, this is a screwdriver with the, you know, the different tips that you can put in it that we got at Harbor Freight. And so we painted the end, and actually it's in here backwards. So painted the end to where it looks silver, put the head, you know, one of the tips in, and then I don't know if you can see, but right on the edge, right on the end of it, there is a snap. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway, there's a snap, a little tiny snap on the end, just to give it some, you know, like a little, I don't know. There was one in the picture, so so a little point on it. And then the other tips are in here, painted different colors. Now the visor we made out of windshield visor, like window tint stuff, and then put that back in there. And then this is where I look out of, and it has that same window tint in it. This piece is made out of Warbler, which is a it's a thermoplastic, and you heat it and mold it and then paint it, and it was really quite interesting to work with. And this is also Warbler down here. No, actually this is foam, sorry. This piece right here, oh, this was so hard to make. I made so many iterations of it and then just kept working it and working it and working it, but it's made out of different pieces of foam that I just kept putting together and trying to get the right like the right angle here and the right indents here and things like that. And then I took apart a leather jacket that I found at Value Village and covered the whole outside of it, you know, trying to figure out, again, there's no patterns for any of this stuff, so you just kind of have to figure it out as you go along. And then on the jacket itself, it had like this little belt thing that was perfect for going right across the back. Then on these earpieces, this is also made out of foam, and it's called EVA foam. And what we used were the floor mats that you get at Harbor Freight. And then we got a bunch of them, and we ended up cutting up a ton of them. And then having them, you know, we just cut them and carved them. And when you carve into EVA foam and then you heat it, like with a hairdryer, the places where you carved open up. And so that's how you get like all these different lines and stuff in there. And then these are just like random plastic pieces, like for when you're putting something together, and it has the little dowels that hold the top piece to the bottom piece. That's what these are. And then, or is that, no, wait a minute. These are beads. These are, I'm sorry, these are just wooden beads. Seriously, just wooden beads. It's all in the painting. And then here we have, if you can see that, these are wall anchors that we just stuck on there just for some added dimension and to make it look cool. And then this, this is a little bendy straw. So I will put a picture up so that you can see how closely this matches the original. And like I said, we looked at tons and tons and tons of photos, and there are some videos of how they were painted and things like that. So I had finally a lot to work with, but it still, putting it all together was really quite challenging. This is, I think it's a bottle cap or something round. This is another one of those bendy straws right there. This is a leather button, and some more foam, and then just some random springs and stuff like that. Now these, here, let me get back in frame. These are decals that you can actually buy. I bought one set of decals for this area right here, and sorry, and these black decals. Everything else on here was hand painted. All of this distressing, all of that, carved out this section. So the more I looked into it, the more detailed this became, because there's so much detail in this helmet. And I had no idea where to start, literally no idea. But it's just, you look at, I knew somebody once that said, if you look at something long enough, you'll be able to figure it out. And I've always felt that that was true. And it proved to be true with this as well. Now I hid the battery behind this earpiece that also has like wall anchors. This piece is made out of foam. It's a little bit different design than the one on the other side, but it has some similar features. Another little bendy straw that goes into the helmet. But I hid the battery. That's what this little red button is. It's behind this. And my husband fixed it with electronics so that you can see, can you see that? He made it so that the lights blink on and off. Try to get a better angle. I don't know if you can see them blinking, but they're blinking. They're blinking on and off, just like in the movie. And the snout piece was actually pretty interesting too. This is actually in one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. So after I got this whole section carved out and finished, then we had to fit something in here to make this snout piece. And this is also made out of foam. So I can't remember exactly how we did it, but got this shape, and it's in 2 pieces. And then these shapes cut out of foam. And then my husband took them and ground them to get these rounded edges. Took them out to his sander so that he could get those rounded edges. And then spray painted them silver. And then I painted this black and then put like these little silver dots and stuff in there. So that's the helmet. This is what it looks like inside. You can see all the foam, and then I've got like those green foam pads so that it stays on my head. It's actually quite light. easy to wear, but it's not, you know, you can't breathe very well in it. It's not terribly comfortable. And I didn't have a voice changer, although that would have been fun. So if you would like to see more of the costume and how I made it, please let me know in the comments, because I can show you the rest of the costume and give you an idea of how we did it and how we put it together. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and just a little something different. Please be sure to leave a comment and help me, you know, figure out what you would like to see more of on my channel. And I can't wait to give these away. And thanks so much again for subscribing. If you did like this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you. So I guess let the serendipity find you, because it sure finds me a lot. And happy crafting. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye, everybody.